Chosen one. Your arrival at this message was never random. Heaven has been guiding your steps, arranging what appeared on your screen, and preparing this exact moment to bring you the confirmation your spirit has quietly been seeking. You are standing before the entrance of something holy, a supernatural release destined to transform not only your finances, but also your faith, your household, and the future unfolding before you. This is more than chance. This is covenant. Anointed one. The chapter of suffering in silence is beginning to break open into a season of divine release. What looked like postponement was actually God bringing everything into perfect order. Every tear you shed where no one could see became an offering before heaven. And now recompense is being prepared in ways greater than your natural mind can imagine. Isaiah 6:022 declares, "When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen." Chosen one. That appointed time has arrived. Even now, angels are moving into position, aligning provision, relationships, opportunities, and revelation around your life. You have not been overlooked. You are walking in favor. You are not falling behind. Heaven is accelerating you. Let this truth settle deeply within you. You are entering a new realm of grace, where striving begins to lose its power and divine provision starts taking its place. Remain until the end, because what is about to be revealed carries your name in heaven's record. Chosen one. There are moments when God begins rewriting the direction of your story, and your spirit recognizes the shift long before your mind understands it. It can feel like a quiet heaviness you cannot fully explain, almost like something is being taken away. Yet somewhere deep inside you know, this is not ordinary loss. You may not be able to identify what has changed, but your spirit keeps whispering, "This is holy." You have wept tears no one witnessed. You survived nights that seemed as though they would never end. Yet morning after morning, you still found the strength to rise. That was not an accident. It was consecration. God was separating you, preparing you for something that comfort alone could never have produced. Anointed one. There is a particular pain that comes with that kind of preparation. It is the season of separation, the divine pruning that feels confusing while you are living through it. Even though heaven already knows exactly what it is producing, I've watched God close doors that I begged him to keep open. Friendships I thought were forever drifted away without warning. Opportunities that looked like destiny suddenly disappeared. I didn't realize then that heaven wasn't rejecting me. It was protecting me. What I called abandonment was actually alignment. Sometimes God removes what you want to preserve what you need. And that's exactly where you are now. Being refined, redirected, and rebuilt for glory. You see, every chosen woman goes through a phase where God edits her circle. He cuts away what looks good, but isn't God sent. That's why it feels like everyone is leaving. That's why you've been walking through silence. But in that silence, heaven is speaking. You're learning the rhythm of divine solitude, the space where clarity is born. It's in that quiet place that your spiritual eyes begin to open. That's where you finally see that not every connection was covenant. Not every voice deserved access to your anointing. And not every presence was meant to witness your unveiling. Chosen one. I want you to take this in. You were never being isolated. You were being incubated. The cocoon feels like confinement, but it's actually transformation. It's where the butterfly learns its wings. You've been in that hidden stage, the private process that always precedes a public breakthrough. while others thought you were standing still. Heaven was positioning you. The delay you resented was actually divine alignment. The loneliness you questioned was sacred ground. You were being prepared to carry what others couldn't. And now, something is shifting. Heaven is opening the next chapter. The same God who called you into the hidden place is about to call you out of it. Don't mourn what was lost. Don't chase what walked away. Every departure was a setup for your destiny's arrival. The silence was never punishment. It was strategy. Because what's coming next, chosen one, requires room to expand. And heaven just cleared the space for your unveiling. Chosen one. The next kind of pain you've been feeling is the ache of being misunderstood. It's a holy ache, one that every anointed soul must pass through. It's not just loneliness, it's the weight of being unseen. You try to explain what burns inside you, but your words fall flat. You share your dreams, your revelations, the visions that wake you at midnight, and they look at you with polite confusion. They smile, but they don't feel it. You start to wonder, maybe I'm imagining all this. But no, you're not imagining it. You're awakening. Anointed one. You were never meant to be understood by those who haven't walked the same fire or carried the same cross. Your sensitivity isn't weakness. It's discernment sharpened by divine assignment. The way you see through people. The way you sense spiritual shifts before they happen. That's not strangeness. That's sight. God has tuned your spirit to a higher frequency so you can recognize what others overlook. You're not paranoid. You're prophetic. You were designed to hear what silence hides. But I know how it feels to be in a room full of people and still feel unseen. To pour love into places that never return it. To speak truth, only to have it questioned or mocked. It hurts deeply. I've lived through it myself. Those moments when even the people you trusted most couldn't understand the vision God placed inside you. But over time, I learned something sacred. When people stop listening, heaven starts speaking louder. When the world no longer validates you, God begins to confirm you privately. So, chosen one, don't chase understanding from those who cannot yet comprehend the weight of your calling. Some will only understand once your glory manifests. Until then, walk silently, faithfully, steadily. You don't need to defend what God already defined. Let your fruit speak. Let your peace testify. You don't have to prove you're chosen. You only have to endure long enough for heaven to reveal it. Every rejection, every whisper, every side glance, it all carries purpose. God is pulling you out of the noise, so his voice becomes your only compass. That's what separation does. It sanctifies your focus. You were never sent to convince. You were sent to witness, and soon, when what's been growing in the secret places begins to bloom, even those who doubted you will have to say, "Now, I understand." Until that day comes, hold your ground. When you feel unseen, remember, heaven sees everything. When you feel misunderstood, remember, Jesus was too. The same people who questioned him were the ones who later followed him. So, be patient. Anointed one. Divine validation always arrives later. But when it comes, it speaks louder than any critic. Chosen one. Your difference is your distinction. What makes you misunderstood today will make you unforgettable tomorrow. Don't shrink to fit what you've outgrown. Don't apologize for the anointing that makes others uncomfortable. Stand tall in your sacred strangeness, because heaven is about to prove that what they called too much was actually just enough to carry the next move of God through your life. Chosen one, let's talk about the invisible battles, the ones no one sees but God, the nights you lie awake with a heaviness that has no name, the mornings you wake up tired, not because your body failed to rest, but because your spirit has been fighting in realms others can't see. You smile, you show up, you keep moving, but deep inside, something sacred feels under siege. Anointed one, this is not imagination, it's intercession. You are carrying spiritual authority, and with authority comes warfare. The enemy doesn't waste his energy on the ordinary. He targets the burning ones, those who carry the fire of destiny. That's why your attacks feel personal, relentless, and timed to your weakest moments. It's not because you're cursed. It's because you're crowned. When I went through my own invisible battles, I didn't understand it at first. I thought something was wrong with me, that maybe I'd lost my faith. But what I discovered was this: the warfare intensifies when promotion is near. Pressure is proof that heaven is positioning you. Every whisper of doubt, every sudden wave of fear, every fog of confusion is simply a reaction to your rising. The closer you get to your breakthrough, the more resistance you'll feel. Chosen one, this is not the time to collapse. It's the time to kneel. Because when your knees hit the ground, the heavens move. Prayer isn't your last resort. It's your greatest weapon. The very moment you whisper a word, angelic forces take position. You may not see them, but they're there, surrounding you, protecting you, fighting for you. Heaven does not sleep on its warriors. And hear me, your endurance is not going unnoticed. When you worship through exhaustion, when you choose love over bitterness, when you choose peace instead of panic, every decision weakens the grip of darkness. Every quiet act of faith becomes an earthquake in the spirit realm. You are not just surviving the battle. You are advancing heaven's agenda with every breath you take. There is a reason the attacks come before the announcements. The enemy knows your next chapter carries weight. That's why you've been feeling the pressure increase. But chosen one, you must remember, pressure always precedes promotion. This is the final stretch before your unveiling. The same storms that tried to drown you will one day testify that you walked on what was meant to consume you. I've learned that spiritual battles often disguise themselves as emotional exhaustion, unexpected conflict, or even silence from God. But what feels like absence is actually strategy. The teacher is always quiet during the test. God hasn't left you. He's watching to see what you'll do with what you've already learned. Hold your peace. Keep your posture. The fire you're facing isn't random. It's refining you for rulership. Chosen one, I want you to take a breath right now and feel this truth. You are not losing. You are learning how to wield spiritual authority. Every wound, every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer is shaping you into a warrior who cannot be shaken. You are being trained for visibility, and heaven is using invisibility as your classroom. The battle is fierce because the crown is near. And when you rise from this, you won't just be restored. You'll be revealed. Chosen one, there is another pain few talk about, the pain of waiting. It doesn't scream like heartbreak or roar like betrayal. It's quiet, steady, and relentless. It's the ache of seeing the promise, but not touching it yet. You know God spoke it. You've seen glimpses in dreams, confirmations in whispers, divine hints in moments of peace. Yet nothing in the natural seems to move. You start to wonder, did I hear wrong? But deep down, your spirit still knows heaven hasn't forgotten. Anointed one. I've been in that waiting room. Too. That sacred invisible space between what God said and what you can see. It's where faith stops being theory and becomes muscle. It's where you learn that waiting is not delay. It's divine surgery. Heaven uses time to align hearts, people, and circumstances that you cannot rush. What feels like silence is actually strategy. While you're waiting, angels are moving, doors are being built, and unseen hands are arranging the details. The truth is, a blessing that arrives too early becomes a burden. God's timing isn't punishment, it's perfection. When He delays, it's because the promise is still being perfected to match your maturity. You're not behind. You're being synchronized with eternity's calendar. That's why the door hasn't opened yet. Heaven is still preparing the stage for your unveiling. Chosen one. Your waiting season is proof that heaven trusts you. Most people can handle quick blessings, but it takes a chosen vessel to handle divine timing. The longer the process, the greater the weight of glory. Think about it. The finest gold endures the longest refining, and right now, you are being refined into something that can carry heaven's wealth without collapsing under it. I remember waiting on promises that seemed to fade away. Years passed. Prayers echoed back in silence, and I almost gave up. But what I learned is that waiting builds capacity. It stretches your faith, teaches your heart endurance, and trains your spirit to remain steady when the miracle finally arrives. When God finally fulfilled those promises, I realized why He made me wait. Because the me that prayed for it wasn't strong enough to hold it. Chosen one. Don't confuse stillness for stagnation. Waiting seasons are not wasted seasons. They are wombs, not walls. Something divine is forming in the quiet. A version of you that is wiser, stronger, and unshakable. This delay is not denial. It's development. Every not yet is heaven's way of saying, I'm still preparing the way. So, keep showing up. Keep believing even when nothing changes. Keep watering your faith even when the soil looks dry. Because what feels like a long pause is actually divine acceleration in disguise. The moment the timing aligns, everything that once moved, slowly, will suddenly rush toward you. Doors will open without knocking. Provision will appear without striving. The promise will arrive as if it had been waiting for you all along. Chosen one. When it happens, and it will, you'll look back and realize every silent day was sacred design. You'll see that every tear, every unanswered prayer, every delay was the countdown to divine release. So, hold your peace and trust the process. Heaven's timeline has never been late. Your promise is already written. It's just waiting for its appointed hour to arrive. Chosen one. There's a pain even deeper than waiting. The pain of forgiving someone who broke you. It's the kind of wound that doesn't bleed. It echoes. You can feel it in your chest when their name is mentioned. When an old memory flashes without warning. When the silence in your heart grows heavy again. You trusted. You gave. You prayed for them. And somehow, they became the very source of your heartbreak. That betrayal didn't just take something from you. It changed something in you. Anointed one. Forgiveness feels impossible until heaven shows you what's at stake. God isn't asking you to excuse what they did. He's asking you to stop carrying what's killing your spirit. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting. It's about freeing. It's heaven's way of unlocking the gate that pain built around your heart. Because the longer you hold the wound, the more it turns into a wall between you and the blessings waiting to flow. I've had to learn this the hard way. There were people I loved who hurt me so deeply that I thought forgiving them meant letting them off too easily. But the truth is, forgiveness isn't for them. It's for you. The moment I whispered, I released them. Something broke open in my life. The heaviness began to lift. The darkness that lingered started to fade, and for the first time in years, I could breathe without bitterness. That's when I realized God can't fill a clenched fist. Chosen one. I know how hard it is to forgive when the pain still feels fresh. But what you release, heaven replaces. When you let go, grace steps in. The tears you've cried over what they did are being transformed into oil for your next season. You're not losing by forgiving. You're winning your freedom back. You're showing the enemy that he cannot hold you hostage with hatred. You're proving that your spirit bows to heaven, not to hurt. You see, every scar you carry is proof that you survived what was meant to destroy you. And every time you choose forgiveness, instead of holding on to resentment, you take back authority from the very experience that once tried to destroy you. That is what makes forgiveness so powerful and so divine. It transforms pain into discernment, scars into strength, and betrayal into the doorway of breakthrough. The person who wounded you may never say they are sorry. They may never fully realize the damage they caused. But your restoration was never meant to depend on whether they regretted what they did. Your freedom has always depended on your willingness to release it. Chosen one, receive this deeply. When you forgive, something begins to move in the spiritual realm. Your surrender becomes a signal before the throne of God. The moment you stop carrying the offense, heaven begins unlocking what bitterness had kept closed. Doors begin opening again. Peace starts returning to your heart. Favor begins finding its way toward you. Because resentment can become a barrier, while forgiveness creates room for blessings to flow freely, and there is something extraordinary hidden within this process. The chapter that once shattered your heart will eventually become the testimony that strengthens someone else's faith. What you once believed made you unworthy will become evidence of the anointing resting upon your life. A day is coming when you will tell the story without trembling, without anger, without pain controlling your voice. Instead, gratitude will fill your heart, because you will finally recognize that the fire meant to consume you became the furnace God used to refine your strength. So, release them. Forgive them. Not because their actions deserve to be excused, but because your soul deserves freedom. Open your hands so God can place something greater inside them. And when you finally release what you have been carrying, you will sense the change within your spirit. You will feel the weight lift and divine momentum begin to return. Then you will understand that forgiveness was never the closing chapter of your journey. It was the place where heaven began writing something entirely new. Chosen one. There are seasons when it appears that everything is unraveling at the same time. The plans you trusted, the relationships you counted on, the security you believed would remain, all of it suddenly begins slipping through your hands, and in the middle of that collapse, you find yourself asking, God, why is this happening to me? Yet heaven seems silent. That silence can feel unbearable. as though you have been left alone while the storm continues raging around you. Yet here's the truth. The fire you're walking through isn't for destruction. It's for definition. Anointed one. The pain you feel right now is not random. It's refining you. God is not punishing you. He's purifying you. The fire doesn't come to destroy gold. It comes to prove it. It burns away what doesn't belong, leaving behind only what's unbreakable. You're not being buried. You're being branded with divine strength. What's happening in your life right now is the sacred process of transformation, the kind that only the chosen can endure. I've been in that fire myself, the kind that strips away your confidence, your control, your sense of direction. I remember when everything I depended on started to fade. People left. Doors closed. Prayers went unanswered. I thought God had turned his face from me. But what I didn't realize was that he was walking beside me, silent but present, steady but unseen. And when the flames finally died down, I saw what he had been doing, burning away my dependence on everything except him. Chosen one. This is the season where God reveals himself in the fire. Not after it. It's where you realize he's not just the God of peace. He's the God who walks through chaos with you. Just as there was a fourth man in the furnace with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, there is a presence standing beside you now. You might not see him through the smoke, but you can feel his grace holding you together when everything else falls apart. You see, the fire is never wasted. It exposes what's real and what's counterfeit. It reveals what was built on faith and what was built on fear. Every trial you faced, every heartbreak, every failure. It's all part of heaven's refining strategy. You can't carry divine authority without divine endurance. That's why you've been tested so fiercely. Heaven is trusting you with something heavy, and only the fire can prepare you for that kind of glory. Anointed one. Don't resist the heat. Breathe through it. This pain isn't ending you. It's equipping you. You are being forged into a vessel that can carry heaven's wealth, wisdom, and power. The intensity you feel is a sign that transformation is near completion. When gold leaves the fire, it shines. When you come out of this, you will carry a radiance that can only come from surviving the furnace. And here's the revelation. After this season, you will never fear storms again. You'll never panic when things fall apart. Because once you've met God in the flames, nothing else can shake you. You'll know that even when life burns down to ashes, his hand still writes beauty out of it. The fire that tried to break you is the very thing that's revealing your immortality in spirit. So, chosen one, don't curse this fire. Bless it. Let it refine. Let it burn. Let it birth something eternal. You are not being consumed. You are being crowned. When this is over, you won't look the same. You'll carry the glow of someone who met God in the furnace and walked out untouched. The flames that once surrounded you will become the light that guides others. Because divine elevation always begins in the fire. And you, anointed one, are almost through it. Chosen one. There's a sacred weight that comes with being called, the pain of carrying a heavy anointing. You wake up tired, not because you've done too much, but because your spirit is constantly interceding, perceiving, protecting. You feel battles that aren't even yours. You carry burdens heaven never meant for ordinary hearts to bear. And sometimes you ask, God, why me? Anointed one. The truth is this: heaven trusted you with weight because your spirit could withstand what others could not. Out of billions, God saw your resilience. He saw the faith that still whispers, yes, when everything in your flesh wants to quit. That's why your calling feels heavy, because it's holy. The mantle you carry isn't light, but it's glorious. The oil that rests on you was pressed from seasons of crushing tears and relentless surrender. I know what it feels like to carry that unseen weight, to pour into others while you're running on empty, to pray for people who would never pray for you, to speak life while your own heart quietly bleeds. But here's the truth I learned through it. Even when you feel drained, heaven refills those who don't stop pouring. The same God who called you will sustain you. You were never meant to carry this weight alone. Grace was assigned to you the moment you were chosen one. The oil that flows from your life was born from pressure. That's why you can't compare yourself to anyone else. Others may have ease, but you carry evidence. They may shine in the spotlight, but you've learned to glow in the dark. Every tear you've shed became an offering. Every prayer you whispered in exhaustion became a seed. Every night you almost gave up was another layer of glory added to your name. Your calling demands discipline. That's why your life feels different. That's why God doesn't let you get away with what others can. He's not punishing you. He's protecting your anointing. The grace that covers you requires separation, consecration, and endurance. You were chosen to walk paths with no map, to believe when logic fails, to stand when no one claps, because you're not carrying a moment. You're carrying legacy. I've seen this in my own journey. The moments I thought were breaking me were actually building spiritual muscle. I discovered that crowns are heavy, too, but they only rest on heads that have bowed before God. The pressure you feel is shaping your posture, humbling your spirit, and preparing you for visibility. The stage God is building for you can only be sustained by the strength that suffering taught you. Chosen one. Your pain has not been wasted. The tears that watered your prayers have grown roots deep enough to anchor generations. Heaven is recording your perseverance. The angels have written down every still I rise. When you reach the moment of unveiling, it won't just be a promotion, it will be vindication. God will use your endurance as evidence that He never left you. So when the calling feels too heavy, remember, it's not meant to crush you. It's meant to crown you. Every ounce of pressure you've carried is turning into spiritual authority. And one day soon, what made you weep will make others worship. What drained you will empower others. Because this is what chosen women do. They turn pain into prophecy and burden into birth. Hold your head high. Anointed one. You've carried the weight faithfully. Heaven has seen your sacrifice. And now that same weight is about to transform into wings. Chosen one. Take a deep breath, because this is the moment everything begins to make sense. Every heartbreak, every delay, every silent night that tried to convince you God had forgotten. None of it was wasted. Heaven was weaving threads you couldn't see, preparing a masterpiece that could only be revealed through pain. What you've walked through wasn't random. It was refinement. Anointed one. Heaven has been shaping you in silence. The wilderness you thought would never end was actually training ground for your crown. You've been learning how to carry power with purity, how to walk in grace with authority, and how to rise in glory without pride. Every rejection was redirection. Every closed door was a recalibration. Every unanswered prayer was God saying, "Not yet, because I'm still building you for the blessing." You see, you were never being punished. You were being prepared. The breaking was never about what you lost, but about who you became in the process. What others called weakness was actually heaven building endurance into your spirit. You were being trained to withstand weight, not for survival, but for stewardship. You were chosen not just to receive miracles, but to become one, chosen one. Look at yourself now. You're standing on the ashes of what tried to destroy you. And you're still here. That means you won. The tears you thought fell in vain baptized your anointing. The scars you once hid are now proof that fire obeys you. You are the living evidence that pain births purpose. That light still breaks through darkness. That death cannot stop destiny. I've seen it in my own life. How God turns broken seasons into divine testimonies. The things that made me weep became the very things that opened doors I never imagined. What once felt like an ending was actually the unveiling of a new assignment. And that's what's happening for you right now. Heaven is rewriting your story in real time. Chosen one. The pressure didn't crush you. It crowned you. The isolation didn't erase you. It introduced you to your true identity. The same hands that broke you to purify you are now lifting you to glorify you. This is your unveiling. The waiting season is over. The wilderness has expired. Heaven is announcing your arrival. You are gold. Unshakable. Intouchable. Unstoppable. You carry fire in your veins, grace in your scars, and destiny in your breath. You are walking proof that divine preparation always leads to supernatural promotion. And what's coming next will not just bless you, it will bless everyone connected to you. So, Reese, daughter of God, straighten your crown, lift your head high. The same God who carried you through the lowest valley is now bringing you into a place where your light can no longer remain hidden. The season is shifting. The tables are turning in your favor. Doors that once remained sealed are beginning to open. And the divine transfer is already underway. Chosen one. The chapter of pain is closing here. And the chapter of purpose is opening now. Let this be your confirmation. You have made it across. The season of refining accomplished exactly what heaven intended. And now God is revealing the radiance that was formed inside you. What felt like destruction was actually the labor of becoming. What appeared to be loss was heaven repositioning your life into divine alignment. You are entering your Kairos moment, the appointed hour that was written into heaven's plan long before you ever cried your first hidden tear. Anointed one. The supernatural transfer has already started moving. Behind scenes you cannot yet see. Doors are being unlocked. Provision. Divine connections. Opportunities. And revelation are coming together with perfect timing. You will not have to exhaust yourself chasing what God has already assigned to you. What belongs to you is being brought into your path by divine order. Heaven has already released the command concerning your destiny. Every seed you planted while trusting God, every prayer you whispered with tears running down your face, every act of obedience that seemed unnoticed is beginning to produce visible fruit. So rise with confidence. Chosen daughter of God, lift your face toward heaven. Carry yourself with the dignity of who you have become. And breathe deeply in this new atmosphere surrounding your life. You are no longer standing in the season of waiting. You have entered the season of revelation. Grace is preparing the road ahead of you. Glory is marking the path behind you. Favor rests upon your life like a covering. You are protected, strengthened, remembered, and fully seen by heaven. As these words come to their close, seal them with faith. Write in the comments, "I receive my divine transfer." Let your declaration become an act of agreement with what heaven is releasing, and let every force of darkness know that your faith is still standing. Now move forward with courage in your steps, gratitude in your heart, and reverence for the God who brought you this far. The wilderness season has reached its end. The unveiling has begun. This is your appointed hour. Rise and shine, and let the world witness the strength of a woman who passed through the fire, was purified by the process, and has now been released by heaven into her purpose.